This is all, that's around Rubbish Tip and that, Pippi Beach and Rubbish Tip. This is off the movie, the first movie that was ever made at the point. See, I was born in 41, and Mum and Dad, we had the bakery at Brushgrove then. Dad was still playing football. We've been coming here since then. As I said earlier, you know, we used to get McDowell's, the painters. We used to all come down here to Blue Pools, sit down at the Blue Pools, and then we'd run up and down the sand dunes out the back here, and yeah, we had picnics out here, I'd say, you know, at least a couple of times a month. That's me out at Angourie, I think that is. That was taken. And there's another one down on the beach. So we started surfing in Yamba very early days. And there's that's Green Point in 58. That's where we saw Green Point at 58.
Wow.
See, I came out here. I was probably out here in 63, 64, and it wasn't to surf, it was to work. So Percy Dwyer had the lease in perpetuity from the grid, which is nearly at the Rainforest Resort.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right through almost to Redcliffe. And Percy used to work out here by himself. And I was a kid, about 14, and they used to make me go to work with Percy Dwyer. So we used to come out here. He had a tractor here, just parked here somewhere, and we used to go up through the back here, down over Mara Creek. There was a little bridge there, and then we used to go all the way out to Shelley, and we worked out there for 3 or 4 days. We'd fence the boundary line between War Station. So any old cattle truck that would just go, they'd drive it out the Shelley headland, put it on the headland, right up on top. I don't know, can you remember the trucks up on top there?
No, that's after my time. Yeah, after I'd left here.
Yeah.
I remember they were out there, but that was after my time. Yeah.
So they put canvas over the top of the cattle truck, and that became the camps. Yeah. So we camped right on Caves Point, and people holidayed out there.
Around, because you could dive in the pool at night, and then someone had a bit of light or moonlight and run around in the nude, and all these nude bodies were running around. It was the same at the pool at Quarry at Turner's. I didn't realise it, but you know, when I picked up a surfboard in what 1950, 58, 57, 58 to get me and the boys. Well, I had the toothpick first up. That was my first board under the surf club. I had it, got it, and I was paddling that a lot. And then Donovans and the Harpers and that, they had the uni students and stuff. They brought the balsa boards around back into the place. Jeff Solomon was another one, and you know, I had a ride on the balsa boards and things like that. And then I was sold, sort of thing. This is us in 1962.
Which one's you?
Me there. That skinny little bloke with a zinc cream on our faces. There. That's some of the first boards that were around. Yeah. Yeah. Chris Harper. He that's a balsa board he had. Yeah. The first boards we had the Turnbull boards. Turnbull, and they were Goodyear or Dunlop boards, I think they were, and they were epoxy boards. And you wouldn't even look at them today. See, we didn't have fiberglass, and then fiberglass and then balsa came in, and then that's when it started to improve a bit better. And so you look at the kids today, the technology they've got is just quite incredible, you know. And it's like everything. It's just, you know, kids don't realise what we had to start with, you know. But it was, you know, I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yep.
I think Rocky has to.
Yeah, I think it's all about the young ones.
Yeah.
I was just watching Dean, that little bloke who is down there. He must be about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Here they come now.
Yeah.
And whilst Dean coming, and like he's yay high.
Yeah.
He's just getting the lefts right through into the corner there.
I saw Rocky out here, he was trying hard. He got a few waves too. Bad, he got a couple out here off the point.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good day, but he was out there.
Yeah.
Look at that board. Now that's an original. That's why we couldn't surf spookies on a board like that. But I'd see surfing's different to what it in our days and what it is today in a long way. You see, when we went surfing, we went on a surfing trip. That's why I left Angourie, I left Yamba, I left Brushgrove, you know. I went to Manly. And when I went down there, I was there for about 12 months, just over 12 months or something like that. And the story of the Endless Summer came out. And the guys down there were all getting teed up and everything, and we're going to Cape St Francis. And then I think it took them about 2 months to talk me into going. So next thing I know, I'm on a boat heading for South Africa.
Yeah, on the 25th of August in '65, Jesus, that's a long time ago.
That's right. Yeah.
So a holiday is something that every young man dreams of. In most cases, it just stays a dream, but a group of 6 Australians try to make their dream come true.
And we stayed away for years. Whereas today, you don't. We had to go for that distance because we had to go by ship. We couldn't go by, there was no planes flying over there. South Africa was sort of was an unknown place until the Endless Summer came out. And Cape St Francis was the dream of everybody to go. So here we were, 6 of us from Manly Pacific Board Riding Club, heading over to South Africa. And we didn't know what we were going to get. It was a bit of a shock, a big shock.
Die groepie, Graham, all those names, Graham Bennett, Robert Patton, Graham Moran,
That's Ray.
John
Ray.
Martin, that'll be you, Graham
That's right,
Moran.
Ray. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and then Graham Starkey and Peter Pike is allemaal ywerige branderyers van 'n klub in Sydney. which is all very keen surfers from a club in Sydney. Nadat hulle 'n rolprent oor die sport by Kaap en Francis gesien het, het hulle besluit om na Suid-Afrika te kom, net om te kan branders ry. Which translates to, after they've seen a movie of St. Francis Bay, they decided to come over and try and ride some of the waves. 'n rukkie gelede het hulle per boot in Durban aangekom. Jesus Christ.
I reckon.
I mean, no aeroplanes in those days, right?
No aeroplanes. And, but we went down to Cape St. Francis, we bought a combi van and went down to Cape St. Francis. We thought we were going to surf that on our own, but when we got there, you know, a million miles away from everywhere else, and there was about 3 or 4 board riders out there. So we surfed it. Before we left Durban, Maxie Wetland, and Max suggested to us that there was a spot down there somewhere near Cape St. Francis that was possibly a better wave than Cape St. Francis, but none of the guys in Durban had surfed it. And this was, we were down there in November 66, and 65 or 66, I'm not sure, one of those anyway. And we were actually the second lot of Australians to hit Durban at the time. The first lot of boys, they were in Mauritius by the time we got to Durban. And then we got down there, we went to Seal Point, we surfed that, we surfed Cape St. Francis, we had that pretty good. And then we surfed this other spot, a big point surf. We didn't know it, but it was Jeffreys Bay. So when we came back, we found out we were some of the first guys to surf Jeffreys Bay. But we only surfed the inside section of it. We weren't outside sort of thing. And we paid, I think it was 25 cents a night each for a house at Jeffreys Bay.
Ago, they arrived in Durban via ship. Daar vandaan het hulle by alle moontlike plekke branders gery. Shortly after that, they stopped over and surfed wherever they could. The best place they came across in the country was Jeffreys Bay. According to them, the conditions over here is ideal. In South Africa, you can ride waves really, really uncrowded. Surfing back in Australia, it feels like you're in the main street of Port Elizabeth on a Saturday morning. So it was crowded here all the time.
Yeah. Max Wetland said to us, he knew there was a surfing spot down south somewhere, but I wasn't sure. But to keep an eye out for it.
Is that the guy from Cape Town?
No, Max was the board builder in Durban.
Oh.
And Maxie Wetland, and we went down there. When we went down there, we were looking for. We went to Seal Point. Then we found Jeffreys Bay. But there's Cape St. Francis there. That's how we got Cape St. Francis.
Is that Cape St. Francis?
That's Cape St. Francis, yeah.
What a hell of a photo.
No, that's Cape St. Francis.
That is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the African women cooked us dinner. And they come in these big silver containers, like in hospital.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's John Martyr and myself at South Beach, Durban. That's the lifeguard towers behind.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's Graham Bennett and Graham Bennett and Graham Starkey, Peter Pike and myself holding up the Cape St. Francis sign.
Wow.
Let's go up to the side.
Well, that's where the lighthouse is. South Africa can be assured that they've got 6 really good ambassadors for their country, which is obviously you guys.
Fantastic.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, real cool.
Okay, and then off to Europe. They had plans to go through the whole of Africa to go and surf, but the current political climate, they decided to go against that and just go straight over to Europe.
Yes, that's when I went to Jersey.
When they get over in Europe, they're going to follow the same pattern, surf waves until they run out of money and go bloody back home. Dan in Suid-Afrika is die groepie baie getref. With conditions in South Africa and what they've experienced, they're very impressed.
That's right. Very impressed.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's the old surf club. That's how we used to live in the surf club in our days. Yeah. That's the bunk beds and everything like that. Yeah. That's myself, Cleet McGrath and Brian Orford, dicking the road. we had board races. The surf club, instead of losing all their members, they put board races on, so they used to give us a Bonds t-shirt every time we won. I was the club champion. Tojo was a character. Jeff Solomon still lives in Yamba, and on that day I won. But on that board there, we were out at Angourie one day, and when we went to Angourie, we used to take a rifle with us, one or two .22 rifles, and Ron Maloney, Ginger, who was a hairdresser in Maclean. Ginger never surfed. He was an athlete, a runner and that. And anyway, he picked up the rifle. Tojo was giving him cheek, so he fired a .22 through his board out of Angourie, and the mark's still on the board. And that's the story there from Bob Evans's. When he discovered up north, there was 25 accomplished board riders in Yamba, in Angourie, and that's us there. Noel War, Bob Banwell, myself, Roger McLean, and Cleet McGrath. That's the original photograph here. You can see that we don't have any wetsuits on. We don't have any leg ropes. We didn't have any board wax. But we still went surfing. I guess I wasn't the greatest of swimmers as far as the surf club goes, but boards I just, for some reason I took onto it, you know, and that just changed my life really, I could say, you know, from going from, I lived on the surfboard and I'm still living on it today. I can't believe it, but as the kids down at Queensland tell me, go home and mow the lawns and don't forget the edges. But when they see the 10-foot Mel coming through the centre, they run over me. You've got to give a little bit of a wobble as well. Then they think he's out of control and they go everywhere. And next thing you know, you've got this beautiful wave to yourself.
So this is your local hang, Ray?
I know. No, let's get that right. Ray's further down.
But I live up there,
He's from the south side.
but I go to the same table Doug goes to get some information.
Yeah, but I've got two tables.
No, I know.
Yeah, so
I've got one at Queensy, one at North Stone and one down here somewhere.
I've got one at Manly.
Yeah,
I hang at the bench of indecision. Like
I like that, Rick.
40 years waiting to see what they're going to do with their life. I still trying to work, but I'm right.
Man sings a young man's way. Better burn out than to fade away.
You have a good trip home.